We wrote Mother over a kind of long period. The first riff kind of came probably before the first album, and maybe even before the Amazons were about, but it kind of just stuck around, and it was one of those things that the band grew into it. It kind of made sense to kind of dust it off and kind of use it as a kind of starting point for a song. Lyrically, it kind of started as a song of like kind of forgiveness. It was a lot of like, I think we all see ourselves as good people, but I was at a point in my life where the actions I was kind of taking didn't tally up with how I saw myself. So it was initially a song about forgiveness, but I heard a song by this Delta blues artist called Son House, called Grinning in Your Face. Kind of got into it through Jack White, who said it was his favourite song. And it really resonated to me, and in its rawness and its kind of defiance, and it's kind of like a me against the world kind of thing. And I really took that on, and I kind of spun the lyrics and kind of turned it into something a little bit more empowering. I think at the moment there isn't a huge amount of space to make mistakes, which I think making mistakes is important in growing as a person, and it feels like there's not a lot of space to do that. You kind of get dismissed quite easily, but you know, we're only human, so that song is kind of addressing the people who are keen to judge without looking at themselves first. There's a lot of righteousness at the moment. I don't buy it one bit. Playing it live on this last tour that we've just come off was certainly a good, playing it first actually was a really good barometer of how the rest of the gig was going to be. Leeds and Cardiff especially, I could hear them pretty loudly singing the words and the mosh pits and all that kind of stuff, and I knew, maybe like 30 seconds into the gig, I knew it was going to be a good one. But yeah, across the board it's been really well received. I think people are responding to guitar solos and riffs and drums and all that kind of basic stuff. We demoed it quite a lot with this record. Chris is kind of into producing, and we've got our own setup in Reading. So a lot of it was done, but it really came to life when we went into the studio with Catherine Marks, who did the first record, and she just makes everything sound mammoth and colossal and all that kind of stuff, and it just breathed a new life into it. And for that reason, it was kind of, we had to come back with it, and we had to kind of announce ourselves to the world again with that song, I think. It does reflect the rest of the record in that it is a bit darker. I think there's a lot of maybe a bit of insecurity and confusion in our personal lives, but also probably the outer world that we live in, and it probably reflects that. I think sonically, it's not the heaviest, but it's probably in that aspect, on the spectrum of heaviness, it's probably up there.
Yeah, it's in the red.
It's in the red.